Okay. So.
Wait, should I put it back just a little bit? Like, top of your head's good chop off. Break it.
Okay. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we've been looking into. We've been looking at this book. It's an herbalist book. A lot of common plants and stuff like that and their medicinal properties. A lot of this is actually very fascinating stuff because you have a lot of people eat it and they have it in their cabinets and stuff like that and they don't even really think about it.
Medicinal plants?
Yes, medicinal plants.
Yes. Or medicinal
herbs
foods.
Foods, yeah.
Regular everyday foods that have all these medicinal healing properties and whatnot. You were recently taking a class on like medicinal. Wait, what is it called? It's like an herbology class. Or whatever.
Herbology, yeah.
And obviously, this is something I've kind of been dabbling in throughout whatever. But
Yeah, pretty much since I know you.
we finally got a book on it, which is actually this is a pretty decent book. It's got a lot of common foods in here, and it just names all these really interesting like benefits. I think all foods are beneficial in some way or other, but I think it's kind of cool. It's like,
some of the things that you probably even just naturally just do anyways, but it's we'll just like talk about a couple of them that we picked out and let you know kind of like what the things that they do. We picked cabbage, cucumber,
you picked it.
St. John's wort, basil, and nettle. So it's like some of the ones
very
are pretty common ones.
Foods, yeah. But,
and for like cabbage is actually supposed to be good for nervous agitation, anxiety, examination, fear, depression, insomnia, nightmares, hyperthyroidism, antagonist to the thyroid. It's like, and this is just cabbage by itself, and like congested liver, stomach ulcers, ulcerative colitis.
It helps with the respiratory system, digestive system, kidneys and the bladder, female reproductive system,
muscular and skeletal, skin,
pretty much almost every system.
And chronic fatigue. It's like
what is it? Warming, stimulating. So it warms and stimulates the body. I've heard before, especially for mastitis, taking a steamed cabbage leaf, putting it over. This works because I learned this. Whatever. So yeah, for mastitis, putting it over, or even engorgement, and it kind of helps with relieve the mastitis. You just place it on.
And this is something
you
you
use it topically or internally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just literally something you easily can get from the store. It's very interesting stuff.
Well, it's cabbage, just like everywhere.
Yeah, literally everywhere.
But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and then you go to
cucumber. It's one of the 4 great cold seeds of Greek medicine, is what they say. There's a couple of them in there. It's like, as people already know, it's kind of like even like watermelon's one of those too. But when you eat these things,
it has a cooling property to the body
down.
Yeah,
pretty nice. So that's why people love obviously watermelon during spring and summer. This one's good for your head. Even like redness of the face and sunburns, you can use it for that. But digestion also, kidneys and bladder.
Helps with like kidney stones,
water retention,
urinary tract infections.
Helps with acne, boils, fever. Obviously, because it cools you down.
Yeah. So it also obviously depends on how these foods are prepared, whether they do it raw or take it
externally,
slightly
internally. It's like
external, but yeah.
Turn into like extracts or like whatnot. It's like these things are pretty amazing. It's like this is literally just stuff you can go to the store. So it's not like you're like, oh, I have to go get a prescription or anything like that. These are things you can just go. Well, except for something like St. John's wort, it's a little bit harder to get. But
these you can get it at most. You can order it online or get a tincture of it, or you can just get the plant and grow it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is another really interesting one I thought was interesting. It's almost like is this the one? That's the pan. It's a cure-all for everything. It helps with wounds.
Yeah.
It helps with the nervous system, gum disease, It helps with respiration, also any respiratory illnesses like bronchitis, asthma, cough. It helps with the digestive system, the kidneys.
This is definitely one of those panacea kind of herbs.
Yeah.
Helps with menstruation to kind of like regulate it again.
It's really good for nerve issues. Apparently, it's like paralysis, fibromyalgia, sciatica. I mean, just any nervous system issues is very, very good for. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, what? St. John Wort does all this stuff?
And you got another one. This is a really common one. Everyone knows about basil. Basil is good for like depression, stuff for your headache, like even poor eyesight. It helps with that. Respiration, digestion, musculoskeletal, fever. It's another thing that helps with like influenza, fever.
I notice a lot of these kind of all overlap in what they're good for, which kind of just maybe tells you that real food, it can be very healing.
We're eating real food, not processed chemical food. So they try to keep it organic because there's less
organic,
like, manipulation to the standard genes that they have. Because that's what it breaks down inside of you to help with this. It also helps with heavy metal toxicity.
Basil.
And it says in parentheses like combined with cloves, so it's like another thing that's like you can help with. And
it helps with low milk production. I didn't know basil did that. And low sex drive. That's interesting. Basil. But yeah, respiration, headaches, poor eyesight,
allergies,
digestive issues, parasites.
And the thing that's pretty interesting about this book too is if you go to the back, you can actually just go straight to like the different kinds of conditions that people have, and it'll bring up page numbers that you can just go to those and like, oh, okay, let me go check out what that one is, and it'll give you a list of.
Oh yeah, so this book is very user friendly.
Yeah, it's really easy to, very very easy to use.
So it has an index for ailments and it has an index for
plant types.
Yeah.
And the last one we wanted to kind of talk about is like nettle. This is one that if you learn how to do foraging, nettle is supposed to be a lot, just around everywhere. Like if you can find it, or you can just order it or whatever. But there's another one that's really good for your mind, senses, nerves, emotions, personality. It's like it helps with a lot of different things that people deal with. Low blood pressure, even helps with like hair loss.
Another one that's really good for respiration, digestion, and the bladder system, the kidneys and the bladder, the reproductive system.
Impotence.
Another one for impotence. Again, musculoskeletal diseases. Again, like and then skin issues, topically for skin issues,
and lactation deficiency.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of it's like this. As you were saying before, it's like there's a lot of overlap, and it gives you lots of options. Like some of the stuff you're like, well, I really don't want to go get that or eat that.
I don't have this plant, but I have this one. Yeah.
Exactly. So it gives lots of people options. It's like you don't have to go get like a medication which has tons of side effects. These things, the side effects is like literally like
you digest it.
Yeah.
You crap it out the other end. No, but this is interesting because like Mother Nature put this stuff here. Plants here for us to use, and it's like, and we don't really need anything else, despite popular opinion. We don't need anything outside of what the earth already offers us. But yeah, so this is an interesting book, stuff that we're kind of delving into and learning more about now, and it's very fascinating, really. But another thing we've been looking into lately is foraging. Well, not even lately, but off and on, but more lately is foraging. So, I remember, what was it, the first time we actually did official foraging was 3 or 4 years ago, maybe, when we were in Atlanta still. We did the wild walnuts and acorns.
Oh, that's right, yeah. We did the black walnuts and acorns.
Yeah.
We processed a bunch of the acorns to make like a medicinal style like coffee drink. It's acorn coffee, and then the walnuts, we didn't know at the time, like, but that's actually a really popular thing now, to drink black walnut juice. We made our own
detox.
It's a detox. We made our own
but also you can eat them, just cook them or
Yeah.
open the walnut and eat them. And then from there, let's see, when we were in Washington, actually this past fall, when we started going RVing, a lot of the, actually even before that, we did blackberries. And then, especially this fall when we started RVing, there were lots of wild apple trees in Washington. And so we did blackberries, apples, and then we started doing dandelions.
Yes.
And we ate them, yes. And then now that we're in the southeast, we have to kind of look at what's available around here. And so far, we've positively identified like 3 plants that we've been foraging and eating every once in a while. One of them is a common one. It's pretty much the common ones. We haven't found any ones yet.
No exotic ones yet.
Well, not even exotic, just like
more rare.
I don't even know if they're more rare. I think we just haven't found them yet.
Oh.
But the ones that pretty much everyone knows about: dandelion, greens, and what's the other one? Plantain, broadleaf plantain. We've been foraging those and eating.
And then wood sorrel was the one
we found recently was wood sorrel. Obviously, it also depends on what we can find in the area that we're at.
Yeah.
But yeah, and those have been really interesting. I think we've foraged them 2 or 3 times now and cooked them up, sometimes even raw, and it's really good. But yeah, foraging is another thing that humanity needs to get back to doing, because this is what we were meant to do as a entity, as a whole being, as a, what do you call it, an energy force on this earth plane. Is there's stuff around, interact
cultivating the land.
Sort of, yeah. It's like living with the earth, you know. The earth gives us everything that we need for everything, really.
And go back to living with the seasons, because that's what we're meant to do.
Oh yeah, seasonal eating.
That's what like this stuff like talks about a lot. It's like the foods that heat you and cool you and stuff like that. It goes with the seasons.
Yeah.
It's hot. You have cooling foods that naturally would be around.
Seasonal eating, I think, is really important, because like I feel like the earth knows, and I've heard someone say this, I think it was a few years ago. I was like, yeah, that actually makes perfect sense. Where the place that you're at on the earth knows what foods that your system needs, depending on what region you're at. And also depending on the season. So the earth provides, based off the season and the region, what your body needs already. So just look around. You don't have to like go too far, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to the earth speaking to you, right? So yeah, eating local, seasonally, I think are really important things to get balanced back to, I guess, our human forms, the earth in general, the world in general, right?
Yeah.
Existence in general. One step.
Step 1.
Yeah.
I said, excuse me.
Yes, excuse you.
That I am my child shirt with mom, so we can actually make food to have. That's delicious.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, that was really interesting. Thought we'd just talk a little bit about some of the cool things that we're dabbling in now. Yeah, kind of adding to our foraging knowledge, so that for the most part, most of what we get is from foraging. And then of course, when we end up getting land, probably hopefully in the next year or whatever, 6 months to a year, whenever we get property, that will be pretty much foraging on our property.
Foraging and cultivate the land to go seasonal growing.
Yep.
And again, everybody,
you can advertise. You can pay. This is not paid
not paid
advertisement.
advertising. I'm just saying, because I've read some other ones before. This one's just really, really easy to use.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Peace.